This is the Caspian Policy Center's 7th Trans-Caspian Forum here in Washington, D.C. And I believe it's taking place at a very dramatic moment in history. At the end of March, a delegation from the CPC visited Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan in Central Asia, and then at the end of April, we did another delegation visit to Azerbaijan in the South Caucasus. What we heard from those trips was best summed up by a recent former foreign minister of Uzbekistan, Vladimir Norov, who spoke repeatedly during his 2-hour meeting with us about Central Asia Plus. And by that, he meant the countries working together and looking outward as they never have before in the 3 decades of independence. In Azerbaijan, we heard again and again from ministers and from other senior officials and academics that perhaps for the first time ever, Azerbaijan is truly getting to know the countries of Central Asia and is looking for ways to work together across Caspian that they've never done since the first days of independence. Now, I mentioned these 2 examples to emphasize that the term Trans-Caspian is no longer just an academic term. It's a reality. To learn more about what's happening in the countries of the region, we want to hear from the ambassadors who are here today. And we will start with the ambassador of Georgia, Ambassador Zalkaliani. I welcome you to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Distinguished colleagues, dear friends, I'm really honored and privileged to be joining this timely discussion on the challenges and opportunities that face the Caspian region. In today's geopolitical climate, holding this forum alongside United States and Caspian region policymakers, business leaders, and members of the academic community is of the utmost importance. In Georgia, throughout our history, we have always been at the epicenter of commerce and trade due to our strategic location between Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. I'm proud to say, as a modern democracy with an EU-acknowledged European perspective, Georgia is well on its way towards accession to the European Union and to becoming a full member of the European family of nations. During the last 12 years, Georgia has pursued an ambitious reform-oriented track that has brought us farther in line with the standards of our key international partners, European Union, United States, and other partners. Building upon our past success, we applied for full EU membership last year to realize our European goals. And now we are working hard to address each of the European Commission's 12 recommendations to be recognized as a candidate state. The Black Sea region is a really important geopolitical area, especially in the current geopolitical challenges, what is happening in Ukraine, Russian invasion. Of course, it creates a lot of problems in the region, but we are doing everything possible in order to deal with these challenges. And it is a microcosm of conflict management. If we can maintain peace and stability here in the region, we can do so elsewhere. The changing geopolitical environment has made it clear that the United States must reevaluate its engagement and relations in the region. 2 recent developments, Senator Jeanne Shahin's and Mitt Romney's Black Sea strategy legislation and the soon-to-be constructed Black Sea submarine electric cable with Georgia, Romania, Hungary, and Azerbaijan will transform our region by increasing connectivity between Caspian Sea and Europe, benefiting countries bordering the Black Sea and beyond. Such efforts contribute to the Georgian government's goal of transforming our region into one of the opportunities and economic growth. Starting on the home front, Georgia has fostered a business-friendly environment and extensive international trade that enable us to carry out weight in our partnerships. Over 80–70% of Georgian exports go to countries with whom we have free trade agreements. In promoting regional interconnectivity and resilience, the Black Sea submarine electric cable project, as I have mentioned, with Georgia, Romania, Hungary, and Azerbaijan, recently agreed to jointly construct as a new EU flagship project, will transform the Black Sea by connecting the South Caucasus region directly to Southeast Europe via the longest and deepest submarine cable in the world. This ambitious project will serve to bolster European energy security while aiding the EU's green transition through access to clean Caspian energy. It is imperative that the EU and our Western partners continue to support such important projects to further contribute to the prosperity and stability of the region, which will in turn provide huge dividends for all of us. If the United States makes a relatively small investment in our region, now it will yield an outsized return for peace and prosperity for decades to come. Economic opportunities. The same asymmetric return profile is available to American businesses in Georgia. From commercial diplomacy perspective, we want more of the US in Georgia and more Georgia in the United States. The Georgian government's goal is to transform the South Caucasus into a region of opportunities and economic growth. And we have made incredible progress to enable this pursuit across almost every metric. To name a few, Georgia is the seventh easiest country to do business according to the World Bank Group. Third least tax burden country with 9.9% total tax rate, again according to World Bank Group. The government of Georgia also signed free trade agreement with a collective population of more than 2.3 billion, including EFTA countries, United Kingdom, European Union, China. And 87% of Georgian export goes to countries with whom we have free trade agreements. Georgia is a natural connector for American companies seeking access to larger region markets, for example, to 8 landlocked countries in Central Asia, and consequently to Western China, a market of more than 2 billion people. Georgia's location and achievements have led to more than 300 American companies planting roots in our country, many among world leaders in commerce and technology. To support Georgia's position as a regional hub for trade and logistics, the government invests heavily to develop infrastructure and achieve this goal. We have launched such important projects as East-West Highway, Black Sea Port, Anaklia Deep Sea Port Project, and Baku-Tbilisi-Kars new railway line. Currently, the shortest route from Asia to Europe passes through Georgia, and the new route via train takes only 15 days compared to traditional route by sea up to 45 days. And in conclusion, let me highlight that Georgia's economic pivot happening in Georgia and our region has the potential to reorient our economies to become more secure, reliable, and prosperous. Every crisis presents an opportunity, and I am proud to say that Georgia has seized the moment to work toward a common vision of Black Sea region that is free, prosperous, and firmly with Europe. Thank you.
Ambassador, thank you so much for those comments. We will now turn to your colleague from the South Caucasus, and I would like to call the Ambassador of Azerbaijan, Ambassador Ibrahim, to the stage. We look forward to your comments, sir.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Hoagland. After all these speeches about Central Asia, I got my extra education. And thank you very much, Ambassador Minister Al-Kalyani, for putting also the South Caucasus on the framework. It's indeed pleasure to be at this 7th Caspian Forum. And there was some talks about symbolism. It was mostly about C5+1, how it's moving from symbolic stand to something practical. And while I was sitting here, I looked at the maps. And since there were a lot of talks about Trans-Caspian and Central Asia, I think it's symbolic that despite the fact that alphabetically we have 3 South Caucasus countries, first then we have Kazakhstan on the western side of the Caspian Sea, and then we have Turkey in between of the Central Asian countries. I think it's also symbolic because it's not just geography, it's our destiny. It's a landscape where we're operating today. So therefore, I think it's a regional, part of the regional snapshot, what we're seeing here in terms of our flags. My president, within last year, I just looked at the statistics, probably in average was meeting leaders of the region every 2 weeks. This creates also a framework, and I would say very comprehensive framework within which we're working today. Trade is skyrocketing. It's not just increasing. I looked at the data, I think with Kyrgyzstan, we have increased our trade last year 14 times. I don't think there are any other examples in other parts of the world. The same true for any other nation. That regional landscape where we have organization of the Turkic states, which allows us to make smoother transition from bilateral to regional cooperation, also moves us to the, I think, global framework. Ambassador Al-Kalyani, who just left, he mentioned about this tremendous new project, putting the grids under the Black Sea. Everybody knew Caspian Sea as fossil fuel, knew it as black gold. Now we're having renewables, and Das Lokman mentioned about that. So Azerbaijani renewables will be flowing to Europe on top of increase of Azerbaijan's natural gas exports annually to Europe now, which will double by 2027. On top of it, the more renewables we send to Europe, our economy is also growing. We'll use it also domestically. That means we'll free more natural gas, so probably by 2027 we'll have even more capacity to help our European friends as a reliable partner. This is extremely important to look at the picture always strategically from global and regional perspective, and not to go into geography, which is destiny, but this, at the same time, sometimes, if we look at it from purely academic perspective, can be a hurdle. So on that, I believe our strong cooperation with the United States of America is key, not only for Azerbaijan, but also for the entire region. As President Biden, in his very recent letter to my president on our National Day mentioned, strong partnership between Azerbaijan and the United States helped advance prosperity across the region. And I think the region can be called Caspian, but it's much larger in every sense. So I thank CPC again, I thank all my colleagues, and I hope that when we meet next year, hopefully, for the 8th meeting here, we'll have even more stories to tell for the region and for the world. Thank you.
Ambassador, thank you so much. I like your closing comment that we look forward, that there is more to come. So thank you for that. We're going to move now eastward back across the Caspian, and we're going to listen to the Ambassador of Kazakhstan, my colleague, Ambassador Ashikbayev. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Very good morning, dear friends, dear guests, Senior Director Berliner, Deputy Assistant Secretary Lochmann, dear friend Brian Stimler, dear colleagues, excellencies, distinguished participants. It's both a privilege and an honor to be speaking in front of you today, and I want first and foremost to thank our dear friends, Afghan Nifty Ambassador Brian Hoagland and Caspian Policy Center team for their steadfast commitment to awareness raising and educating about the strategic importance of the Caspian region. At the outset, let me reiterate a statement by President Tokayev that we must ensure that the Caspian Sea becomes a sea of peace and new opportunities. And he also mentioned, stressed that the Caspian region should not become an environment for geopolitical battles, but rather a place of synergy of efforts of different players. And this credo is based on not only abundant energy resources, but also on our human capital, transport and transit potential. Indeed, unlocking the full potential of Greater Caspian region is a key to address the most pressing challenges of current world, be it food or energy security or some other challenges, both regionally and globally, but also ensuring that Central Asia remains an integral part of global development. Since the early days of our independence, Caspian energy was a driving force of economic development, both for Kazakhstan and for the entire region. And in our bilateral relations with the US, it was one of the main avenues of cooperation with the United States, starting with the Tengiz field and landmark deals with Chevron and ExxonMobil, to remarkable achievements in investment and sustainable growth. And there is a huge, huge contribution of that particular efforts in what these days is known as an enhanced strategic partnership between Kazakhstan and the United States. Due to its size, central location, and economic performance, Kazakhstan has been a crucial contributor to trans-Eurasian connectivity and a prominent advocate of regional economic integration with neighbors and the global community. Trans-Caspian route has a strategic and geo-economic rationale when it comes to the supplies of energy resources and strategic goods to Europe and global markets, including the US. Promoting Middle Corridor as a viable and sustainable trade route resonates with the interests of not only Kazakhstan, but also the entire Central Asian region. But let me also be clear that the further development of international trade, of cooperation along this route is only possible on the condition of external security guarantees for all of its members. Along with oil and gas, we are focused on transportation of common goods and critical commodities. And last year, the volume of cargo transported through Trans-Caspian route doubled and reached 1.7 million tons. And I remember that exactly 2 years ago I was a fresh new ambassador to DC, just taking up my duties among COVID-19 restrictions. And I was addressing the 5th Trans-Caspian Forum, and I was contemplating about the immense potential of the region. And now our plans became a reality. Per agreement between Kazmunaygas and of Kazakhstan and Azeri Sokar to supply 1.5 million tons of Kazakh crude via BTC pipeline, last month the first shipment of Kazakh oil successfully loaded in Ceyhan. We do appreciate the constructive dialogue of all engaged stakeholders, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Turkey, and the role played by the United States. The next goal is to develop infrastructural projects with prospect for further increase of transit volumes. As Middle Corridor includes a multimodal transport capabilities, rail, tankers, pipeline, transshipment facilities, it is important to ensure seamless movement of goods by making it more efficient and cost-effective. We recently established a joint venture with Abu Dhabi Ports, Caspian Integrated Maritime Solutions, to develop Caspian fleet for oil transportation and support of the offshore oil and gas exploration as well as development projects. Following ministerial meeting on Trans-Caspian connectivity, together with Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey, we adopted and working on a roadmap for the simultaneous elimination of bottlenecks and the development of the Middle Corridor, indicating specific projects with precise parameters, deadlines, and responsible performance. Implementation of the agreements will allow increasing overall capacity of this route to 10 million tons per year by 2025. To this extent, we commend the positive outcomes of G7 leaders' Hiroshima summit meeting and echo G7 intention to foster sustainable connectivity, transportation, trade and energy links to enhance regional prosperity and security. We would like to see more proactive engagement, including through the global initiatives such as Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investments, PGII. Spanning across a vast Eurasian region, connecting China with Europe via Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey, the concept of the Middle Corridor comes in line with the true nature of ours, the role of bridge builder, a buffer market between East and West. Just recently, during his state visit to China, President Tokayev attended the ceremony of launching the construction of Kazakhstan's logistics center in the dry port of Xi'an. 47 agreements have been signed, totaling $22 billion, and this will greatly supplement Middle Corridor and contribute to transit traffic from China to Europe and vice versa. And overall, the Trans-Caspian route might be a game changer, not only for the region, but for the global community. It will increase global trade flows, build sustainable supply chains, prevent shortage of critical commodities, and help bridge the gap to a more carbon-free future. With this optimistic idea, let me finish my presentation, and thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Ambassador. You know what? You used a phrase that I think is very important when you said that plans have become reality. So what we're doing today is not just looking to the past to catch up, but we're getting new ideas for the future to change reality for the positive across the entire region. That's the goal I hope we achieve. We stay across the Caspian on the eastern side, and we turn next to the Ambassador of Kyrgyzstan, the Kyrgyz Republic, Ambassador Aminbayev. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Ambassador Hulang, distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor and a privilege for me to be here today to address you on behalf of my country. First of all, I would like to express my deep gratitude to Caspian Policy Center for organizing today's wonderful event dedicated to strengthening the partnership between the United States and the countries of Caspian and the Central Asian countries. I hope today's event will serve as a significant platform where we can highlight and celebrate the major achievement of our relationship in recent years, and also to discuss further ways to strengthen interregional cooperation for a brighter future. When we look at the Caspian and the Central Asian regions, we see not only geographical proximity. Most importantly, we can see the common historical, cultural, linguistic values that united our ordinary people, our nation, for many centuries. For example, the Great Silk Road is a clear evidence of strong connection between our nations for many centuries. The Great Silk Road for several years promoted the trade, cultural exchange, exchange of knowledge and tradition between our lands, and left erasable mark on our collective identity. It's a fact. Of course, today we are facing the global challenges such as energy security, food security, and regional stability. I am sure that today is the time when we all must clearly recognize the huge potential for joint work and mutual cooperation. Working together, I mean. Indeed, in practice, only by using the forces and the resources of Caspian and the Central Asian regions together, we will be able to pave the way for the sustainable economic development and the mutual prosperity. The Kyrgyz Republic, my homeland, which is located in the very heart of Central Asia. Our country is a pearl. It is characterized by the breathtaking mountain landscape. Most of you know. And however, not only the natural beauty makes Kyrgyz Republic significant. Our country owns 30% of water resources of former Soviet Union. And you know, especially in growing water shortage in the world, the clean water resources is a vital asset everywhere in the world. In addition, Kyrgyz Republic has 60% of world silicon reserves, a very important and necessary raw material for the production of silicon chips and the electronic products that power our modern society, Recognizing the importance of water resources and its efficient use, President of our country, Sadr Nurjoy Japarov, initiated a major regional project in cooperation with Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. For the first time in the last 3 decades, joint development of the water resources of Naran River, which located on the territory of Kyrgyz Republic, has already begun. Such large-scale construction is an important step towards ensuring water security in our region. I wanted to emphasize that this major project was launched in pursuance of the decision taken at the meeting of presidents of the Central Asian countries held last year in Cholpon-Ata, Kyrgyz Republic. This major project will generate 1,860 megawatts of electricity, also provide a solution for storing water in wintertime and irrigating on hot summer days, benefiting the fields of Kazakh Republic and Uzbekistan in summertime. This holistic approach will successfully address both energy and food security, laying the foundation for more sustainable and prosperous regions. In conclusion, I would like to know that our regions has rich resources and unique opportunities and a great potential for the development of the interregional comprehensive cooperation. Dear participants, Central Asia, despite being landlocked, occupies a geostrategic position at the crossroad of Europe and Asia. Thanks to the creation of modern transport infrastructure and the innovative logistics system, it has all the prerequisites, necessary conditions, to become key center of the world trade. Therefore, investment in transport infrastructure projects and the creation of the sustainable transport and trade links are very, very important and play key role in the development of Central Asia. In this context, I would like to highlight the strategic project of China-Kyrgyzstan-Uzbekistan Railway. My country has high hopes for this project, as it will create sustainable transport corridor between Europe and Central Asia. We are ready to further increase our mutual beneficial investment cooperation with the United States, first of all, with the countries of Central Asia and all entire Trans-Caspian regions. Thank you very much for attention.
Ambassador, thank you so much. While it's true that the Kyrgyz Republic might be just a tad far from the shore of the Caspian Sea, you've made perfectly clear that the Kyrgyz Republic is in the center of the Caspian region, an essential part. Thank you for that. We will now turn to the Ambassador of Turkey. I am so pleased to have you here today, sir. We look forward to your comments. Ambassador Mirjan, thank you, sir.
Dear ambassadors, distinguished participants, I don't know whether we're Trans-Caspian, Middle Eastern country, or European country. It's always up in the discussion and debate. Of course, I'm very happy to be here. I would like to express our gratitude to the Caspian Policy Center for organizing this 7th Trans-Caspian Forum. And hopefully, next 8th Trans-Caspian Forum we will be able to bring, some ministers from our countries so that we will have very extensive discussion. Now we are in the midst of an election, so we wouldn't be able to do that. But I can promise you that next year, when you have this forum, we will make all our efforts to bring ministers of relevant importance. Ambassador Hoagland, Afghan, we're very happy that you organized this excellent event. And also, before I start my speech, I would like to thank all of you for what you have done when my country has faced terrible disaster, earthquake. You know, the friendship we've seen from all of you, from the United States, from our Turkic countries, from all the Caspian countries, it's heartfelt in my country. As speakers before me had emphasized, there is a great potential of partnership and investment in the Caspian region, investment opportunities in the Caspian region. And Turkey is strategically located at the crossroads of energy and transport corridors. We connect the Caspian region with Europe, Middle East, and beyond. The Caspian region provides a historic opportunity for a model cooperation with its critical position for the European and Asian connectivity. With this view, we value peace and prosperity in our wider region and support multilateral approaches to this end. This is absolutely important. If it weren't multilateral approach and creating some sort of interdependency between these countries, the stability and prosperity cannot come in any region, as a matter of fact. Our vision for this region has always been the creation of an inclusive environment of peace, stability, and shared prosperity based on regional ownership. We believe that now there is a significant opportunity to achieve this. Turkey is the fourth biggest gas market in Europe, sixth in the world, has already supported various projects aimed at furthering connectivity in this region. It's mainly thanks to the Turkish-US cooperation and determination back earlier that Azerbaijan has been exporting its oil through BTC pipeline and natural gas through the southern corridor. And if it weren't BTC, for instance, with the determination of Azerbaijan, late President Haydar Aliyev, Turkish President Turgut Özal, and if it weren't the contribution of all these state actors in line with major companies at that time, probably we would have been talking different landscape, energy landscape today. So, having said this, also fast forwarding, we should take new initiatives at the political level, at the company level, to increase energy interdependency among Caspian countries and to link Caspian energy resources with the European markets and with other markets as well. Together with our important partners, the oil pipeline has become one of the world's most successful energy projects. I'm talking about BTC. Now, BTC once has been criticized heavily, if you recall. Almost 1,800 kilometers of BTC pipeline so far has transported more than 3.5 billion barrels of Azeri, Turkmen, and Kazakh crude oil to global markets. Around 1% of world's oil trade runs through BTC. We aim that gas exports to Europe via TANAP will also double and reach to 20 BCM. That's also strategically important, very important project, which has been criticized when it's first undertaken because of its cost and economic problems, economic financeability. These huge energy projects, important, vital, and I think our parties, our countries, together with our European partners as well as US partners, should consider and should think about these big projects if we are talking about diversification of our energy resources and reducing dependence of our energy consumption to a single source. Now, as I said before, the time is also ripe now to make another historic effort to enable Turkmen gas to enter world markets through TANAP. There is significant potential both in Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan. Together with the US, we need to work together more closely. The Caspian region is not only home to valuable oil and gas reserves, but also has a huge potential of renewable energy. We believe that bringing solar, wind and hydropower in the energy mix will be crucial for a sustainable economic development in this region. With the fifth biggest installed capacity in renewable energy in Europe and ranking the 12th in the world, we would like to share our experience with our partners. In the renewable energy, we made a big stride in the last 10 years. I happened to be Deputy Minister of Energy at that time when it just started. Of course, it's not a credit to me, but it's the general atmosphere that enabled renewables be into our energy mix. As you all know, energy is also a key component of the US-Turkish alliance. US is the largest LNG supplier in Turkey, for Turkey. Last year, we imported 5.6 BCM of gas, 5.6 BCM of gas from the United States, or approximately 15 BCM. So a third of our LNG supply seems to be coming from the United States. And of course, we want to establish long-term supply contracts with US companies, and also we need to work on this issue as well. It is also thanks to Turkish-US cooperation that Caspian energy resources are exported through Turkey to Western market. This forward thinking on our part as allies has, in the past 25 years, completely changed the dynamics and outlook of the region in terms of energy sources and routes. Not only has Azerbaijan gained the ability to ship its resources directly to world markets, but also Georgia has also benefited as a transit country. The time is ripe now to make another historical effort to enable Turkmenigas to enter to the world market. Our agreement with Bulgaria, which has been a very important agreement, and I think helped Bulgaria solve major of its gas issue, gas demand, to supply them with 1.5 BCM per year for 10 years to come. And their gas demand is around 3 BCM. So we're supplying almost half of Bulgaria gas need through our LNG facilities. Our efforts in the region, as I told you earlier, should not be limited to cooperation in hydrocarbons. We should also, as said earlier, support Trans-Caspian East-West Middle Corridor or Middle Corridor. Initiative focuses on improving multimodal transport routes traversing the Caucasus region, Caspian Sea, Central Asia. We are pleased to see the interest and growing private sector attention on the Middle Corridor. Another issue, nuclear energy, can be a strategic aspect of relations bilaterally first and foremost, but also potentially in the region as a whole. Cooperation on SMRs constitute a concrete cooperation area. We still have not seen much progress on our bilateral talks, but political will on our side is there to advance. Concrete steps and proposals from the US are needed. If Turkey and the US can move forward in this area, this will create a new wave in the region. I'm referring to SMRs, small modular nuclear reactors. In conclusion, post-COVID economic realities, war in Ukraine, as well as the pressures resulting from global competition have been shaping the geopolitics of the Caspian region. We believe that close cooperation with our partner countries remains as the key success. And we believe further integration among the organization of Turkic states members and observers, as well as the ongoing diplomatic engagements in South Caucasus can create new doors for making the Caspian region even more important. In this respect, we support Azerbaijan and Armenia in their quest for a lasting peace. We also further our own diplomatic engagement with Armenia for the benefit of our societies and to create a holistic regional cooperation. Turkey also welcomes renewed interest and readiness for cooperation of the US and EU in their engagements in the region. Meanwhile, we also continue to work with our partners and neighbors, including Russia and Iran, to make sure that peace and stability prevails and prospects for prosperity are enhanced. Dear friends, our shared cultural, historical, linguistic, and kinship ties in the Caspian region are significant factors which shape our relations, policies, and perceptions of each other. Connections and interaction between our peoples are becoming more and more vibrant. What we have achieved together in the past is a testament of what we can do together in the future. With our common dedication, Caspian region can become an area of comprehensive cooperation and prosperity. We believe the role of multilateral consultative platforms such as the Trans-Caspian Forum, and these all will be very important factors to enhance all these cooperations. In conclusion, I really would like to thank CPC to increase the awareness of Caspian region, larger Caspian region, Trans-Caspian region, in this country, in this capital. Thank you very much for organizing this.
Ambassador, thank you so much for those important comments. Thank you especially for your affirmation near the end that Turkey does indeed support lasting peace in the region. It's a terribly important statement for Turkey to make. And also thank you for your emphasis on trans-Caspian energy, all forms of energy. Very definitely the wave of the future. It has to be. We'll conclude this part of the program with, last but certainly most not least, the Ambassador of Uzbekistan, Ambassador Siddiqov. Please come to the stage, sir.
Ambassador Hoagland, dear friends, ambassadors, Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure for me to speak here today about the importance of the further enhancing strategic partnership with the United States, especially now at the time of challenges. But there are also great opportunities in the wide region encompassing Central Asia and the Caucasus. We highly value the strategic partnership with the United States that over the past 5 years has grown substantially across all areas of our bilaterals. We appreciate U.S. support of progressive transformation and irreversible reforms in Uzbekistan, aimed to building the free society with good governance, justice and rule of law, more economic liberalization, and, more important, ensuring fundamental principle, human interest comes first, reinforced by the newly adopted Constitution of Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan and the United States shared the priorities for regional development, including within the C5+ platform, and advancing partnership in infrastructure development, energy, transport, environmental protection, addressing the challenge caused by the climate change. We believe that the United States' strong presence in the region across the political, security, economic, and people-to-people realms will contribute to the region's growth and prosperity. And I am confident that we could and should seize every opportunity for enhanced cooperation to deliver tangible progress and overcome the challenge of our times. We believe that United States can intensify the engagement with the region and capitalize on further support good governance and better integrated economics with a high-level trip to Uzbekistan and other countries of Central Asia, where that have been visited by the sitting American president. With the current dynamics in the region, with the significant increase of Uzbek export potential, diversification of the export markets become one of the priorities of Uzbekistan. In this regard, we believe that now is a high time to unite our efforts to advancing major connectivity projects of the regional significance. As you know, together with the willing countries of the region, we established International Financial Consortium to construct 573-kilometer railways extension that will run from Mazar-i-Sharif, Kabul, and Peshawar. If this project fully implemented, the transportation of the goods from Central Asia to the Pakistani ports will have to take not 35 days, but only 5 days. And the cost of 20-pound container could be cut but almost 3 times. In fact, the recent successful shipment of the goods from Uzbekistan that reached Pakistan through Afghanistan proves huge profitability of these routes. I would like to mention that only because of this route, we already increased our trade with Pakistan 5 times, with the Middle East countries 3 times. Great opportunity also emerging with the development of the Andijan-Osh-Irkistan-Kashgar automobile corridor. And we look forward to completion of the construction of the Uzbek-Kyrgyzstan-China railways, were critical for regional connectivity that will become one of the shortest routes for the transportation of the goods to the countries of Middle East, Turkey, and Europe. We fully support Middle East corridor and consider this route critically important for transportation and cross-border trade. The United States economic engagement with the region could be best exercised through more active private sector engagement that is a catalyst for the sustainable and comprehensive economic transformation. We already have successful example of cooperation with the major representatives of United States business in Uzbekistan. Such companies as John Deere, Caterpillar, Silverleaf, General Electric, General Motors, Boeing, Honeywell, and others are actively working and expanding their presence in the Uzbek market. However, together we can develop strategic business partnership with investors and willing partners engaging in the technological innovation, digital commerce, financing, banking, and many more. As today mentioned, American company Aero Products already signed $1 billion agreement, and I would like to say thank you, American government, supporting us, and more agreements are coming soon. Another promising area is energy, is most prospective sector of Uzbekistan. Within our low carbon energy strategy, we are anticipating a sharp reduction of the country's reliance on the gas-fired power generation from 83 to 50%. Goal for the new nuclear, solar, and wind power production. Recently, Abu Dhabi-based Masdar has invested to solar plants and other projects worth $6 billion. France Total Earn is also engaging the building 100-megawatt solar farm in Uzbekistan. Saudi Arabia signed $15 billion agreement with Uzbekistan to develop renewable energy in Uzbekistan, including building the 1,500 megawatt wind farm in Karkal, Pakistan. Once it's completed, it will become largest wind farm in Central Asia and one of the biggest in the world. We look forward to expanding our partnership in renewable with United States companies. Uzbekistan emerging as a regional IT hub through best-in-the-class connectivity and digital service, education, upskilling, and new job opportunities, offering almost 50% of IT exports through outsourcing companies to the United States market. Traditionally, strong agriculture sector in Central Asia could also be further developed of investment destination as a food and textile manufacturing. Is underfinanced and amount to only 3% of the greenfield investment in the region versus 7% of the world FDI portfolio. In this regard, Uzbekistan can play a key role in stabilizing the supply chain of American apparel companies and ensuring global food security. The United States also, with the border technical assistance programs in a way that enables Uzbekistan to advance its economic development strategy and reforms. We look forward to continuing successful collaboration with the United States on a number of mutual priorities for increasing employment opportunities, quality education, strengthening the resilient healthcare, ensuring food security, and addressing climate change, especially through mitigating the consequence of RLC problem. We hope that the United States will further support the establishment of the network of strategic communication between the regions, which will fully cater the transport and transit potential and have multiplier effects on sustainable development of entire Central Asia and beyond. Our intentions are simple. We would like to end Central Asia's current unfortunate status as one of the least interconnected regions in the world, improve business conditions, raise standards of living, and firmly maintain the peace and stability in our region. Thank you so much for your invitation.